It's time for another tale from the glass-guarded world. Ashley plays Tara Dane, the human fighter. Josh is Zartok, the tiefling wizard. And Gaston, the rogue and bard. Jessica is Coral Petricor, the Genasi druid. And Mama Sass, the half-orc bard and barbarian. And Chris plays Aster Fortuna, the rogue and bard extraordinaire. The Glass Guardians have done some shopping in Dorfolk and have made preparations for dinner with the Sorcerer Queen. They're hoping the dinner will be an opportunity to persuade her to help them defeat Laverian. The Queen has avoided getting entangled in the affairs of other city-states, and taking action here would be a dramatic policy change. They have the Queen's Seneschal, Ayeth, on their side, however. They just have to convince a majority of the Queen's other counselors to support them. And there's still the matter of that charm spell that still has Aster enthralled.
The party has decided who is going to this dinner. It's going to be Tara, of course, leading the group, Aster and the Queen's Seneschal Ayeth, and then Mama Sass and both Papa Gaston and Zartok. So Josh will be extra busy. Although Zartok doesn't talk a lot, I guess.
If I have a little time, I'm going to commence trying to train this bird to land on my shoulder.
Okay. All right. We'll assume you start teaching the bird.
This is Ayeth's weirdest date ever.
You don't know that.
Fair enough.
Ayeth leads you back to the palace. The guards escort you again back into the building. You're allowed back into the main hall, and then you are taken back into the Queen's audience chamber, where everything has been moved out of the way of the middle of the room, and a large table has been set out. And there are several people milling around the room with glasses of wine, chatting before the dinner starts. And you arrive in your large group, and they all turn and look at you. And you, of course, recognize who these people must be. There is a female halfling. That must be Aldrich, the priestess of Praise and Sharp. You can see there's a human man. You don't know exactly you don't know for sure who that is, but it's probably Sun Gifu, the cleric of Assembler in the Square. There is an elven wizard. That is probably Illifar. And, of course, Ayeth, who is with you, and Oswin, who is an elderly human man. He is not visible, as far as you can tell. You don't see him around here. He doesn't seem to be here yet. But the others are chatting to each other. And as you come in, the wizard smiles and raises a glass and says, "Well, come in, young ones. Come and join us. The Sorcerer Queen and Oswin should be here any moment."
Okay.
All right.
It's nice to meet you all.
We've heard much about you, and we're glad that you are so friendly. Remember, when speaking, that the Sorcerer Queen is extremely powerful and deserves your respect. And also be aware that although we are all citizens of Dorfolk, and we all believe in good manners, in the council meetings it is very important to be forthright, to state your opinion, not to hold back. If you're used to being extremely polite with the other citizens, you should work on being straightforward. Here. Do you understand?
Yes.
I am always straightforward. I'm a straight shooter. That's what they all say about me.
Excellent. Yes. Well, do you have any questions? And as he asks that, there is a trumpet fanfare that comes from who knows where. You don't see any trumpeters. And coming down the stairs is, once again, the Sorcerer Queen, now dressed in resplendent red dinner robes. She walks carefully down the stairs and is escorted by Oswin, who is this elderly human man. And he looks like he's holding out her hand as though to escort her down the stairs, but it's actually pretty clear that she is keeping him steady on the stairs, and that if it weren't for her, he might tumble down the stairs himself. He looks pretty decrepit. And she gets down to the bottom of the stairs and leads Oswin over to a seat at this table. Now, the way this is actually arranged is there is a long wooden table with all the seats on one side, and they're all facing toward the throne, and then the throne has a small table set up in front of it, so that she is facing all of you on this long table, and you're all facing toward her throne, which is up a few steps from you. And there are place settings for each of you, and none of them are laid out. So the question is, where do you want to sit? She actually leads Oswin over to the table in front and helps him into a chair on one end and sits him down. And then she moves over to the throne, and she sits down and then gestures for all of you to sit. Where do you want to sit? Do you care?
I will sit wherever Lady Ayeth
All right.
sits.
Lady Ayeth leads Aster near the middle. She leaves the very middle seat open and gestures toward Tara.
That's where Tara was planning to
All right,
sit.
so she leaves the middle seat open for Tara, and she and Aster sit down next to Tara. Unless anybody jumps in, the other advisors are going to take seats as well.
Yeah, I'm going to look at. There's no like utensils or anything laid
There is
before
a
us
place
yet,
setting,
right?
yes.
Okay. I'm going to look at Papa Gaston. I'm going to wink and send a quick little message. Once Her Majesty begins the conversation and they bring up anything related to dinner, I will ask if I could do a small performance as a tribute to her. And then we do the switcheroo. You can reply to this message.
Yes, the tall and short switcher, bait and switch. What was that? Sorry, you just told me what it was called. I know we've done it 100 times. The short and tall bait and switch.
Yeah.
So, good.
Okay. So while you're discussing, Aldrich, the female halfling cleric, sits next to Tara.
Which of the counselors seems the most physically imposing? Aldrich?
I'm going from left to right with the queen above you. So let's see, we've got Oswin on the far left, and then we've got Tara in the middle, and then Ayeth, and then Aster, and then yeah. And so that's it for now. And so the most imposing Sun Gifu looks like he is extremely fit. He's just an ordinary sized human, but he looks like he is in incredible shape.
Mama Sass is going to kind of migrate towards him to sit next to Sungifu.
Okay. He's going to sit next to Aster. And I guess Mama Sass sits next to him.
She kind of grumbles about the fact that she can't sit by Ayeth, but yeah, she sits by Sungifu.
Okay.
Is there a space next to Aldrich still or no?
Aldrich is going to try to sit next to Tara unless someone stops her. So she's going to sit on Tara's left. And you could sit next to Aldrich if you want. If Gaston wants to, is that the plan?
Yeah, Gaston will do that. And Zartok will, I mean, he doesn't super duper care, but he'll maybe sit next to Elifar in case, if he's got to talk to anybody.
Talk to the wizard.
I guess it
sure.
would be him.
All right. Ilifar starts to sit next to Mama Sass, but then looks kind of intimidated by her. And then pulls a chair out for Zartok and says, please, after you.
All right.
So Zartok sits next to Mama Sass and Ilifar.
Wait. I whispered to Papa Gaston, why aren't you sitting next to Aldrich?
He is.
Oh, Papa.
Yeah, so far it's
Gaston
Oswin, Gaston, Aldrich, Tara,
Okay.
Ayeth, Aster, Sungifu, Mama Sass, Zartok, Ilifar. Is that everybody? Are we missing anyone?
I don't think so.
I
I
don't
think that's
think so.
everyone.
Okay. Yep. Oswin, Gaston, Aldrich, Terra, Ayath, Aster, Sungifu, Mama Sass, Zartok, Ilifar. Great. So that's the seating arrangement. And once everyone is seated, the Sorcerer Queen gestures, and from out of a side door, a group of staff come out with plates heaped high with delicious-looking appetizers and several bottles of wine. And they begin pouring glasses for each of you, and they set out some small nibbling items for to whet your appetite. It looks like some sort of little tiny wraps, something wrapped in some sort of rice paper. And she says, "Please, everyone, enjoy your appetizers. Wax, enjoy yourselves for a moment before we get down to business."
I'm going to raise my hand.
Yes. Yes, go ahead.
Your Majesty, Your Highness, would it be of trouble if I could do a quick performance in your honor? Shouldn't take more than a few minutes, kind of to entertain us as we get ready for the meal.
A performance?
A very short one with my myriad of instruments.
Oh, a
I'm
musical
like
performance.
a one-man band. Yes.
Very well. Proceed.
Okay, I stand. I try to position myself in a place where the attention will be focused on me and will give Gaston plenty of time where their focus is not directly on Gaston, or Aldrich's attention is like she's turning away from her utensils.
All right, so you stand off to the side. What are you singing?
I'm going to sing. Are you ready for
Oh,
this?
no.
Is that the song?
No, no.
Da-da-da.
So first, I'm going to use my spells like thaumaturgy, prestidigitation to make the booms, make instrumental sounds. Then I'm going to pull out my guitar and bring, and I'm going to start singing "Dancing Queen"
Dancing Queen.
by ABBA.
Okay.
You are the dancing queen, young and sweet, only 17.
That's it.
All right.
Probably a little older.
Do you wanna
Mama
do a little-
Sass is very excited by this performance. Roll a check. Roll a performance check.
These are pretty good. Here we go. Oh, shoot.
Chris walked down the hallway to roll his
Yes.
dice.
Sorry, does it sound that
Yes.
far away? Okay, let me look at my guitar thing.
He
I
rolls
get-
his dice in another room just to really, so that none of us
Okay.
know what he rolled.
So I rolled a 4 plus another 4 from the guitar, so that's an 8 plus my performance, which I think is a 12. So 8 plus
A
12.
20.
Yep.
The queen blushes a little bit and says, "I have not been a dancing queen for many years. Perhaps I should take it up again."
During the performance, Gaston was kind of like overly animated, super duper into it, bumping into the people on the sides by the beat of the song. And then he rolled he got an 18, and then he used a luck point to get a 22 on the sleight of hand to switcheroo the utensils on the person next to him.
That's pretty
They
good.
do not appear to have noticed.
Oh,
So
no.
you switched the utensils with Aldrich.
How, I guess during the performance, which Tara was skeptical about,
Mhm.
but is accepting for what it is, she's just looking at the counselors to see if they are interested or as amused as the queen is or annoyed or what.
Let's see. Oswin takes his cue from the queen, and if she seems entertained, then he is entertained. Aldrich looks confused, like she does not understand why we are doing this. Ayath is enraptured. She just looks like this is the happiest day of her life, and she just loves everything Aster does. Sungifu is initially skeptical, but gradually won over. He seems to be into the music. And then Ilifar just looks bored.
I love all these guys.
Okay?
I can't believe the bait and switch worked. We're the best, Papa.
All right. So you have some finger foods, some snack items, And the Sorcerer Queen keeps looking at all of you to see if you are enjoying the food. It does seem pretty well prepared. It seems very nice.
Mama Sass is skeptical at first, but after trying it, is enthusiastic about it.
Excellent.
How's the food taste?
It's very good.
Mm-hmm.
It's maybe a little bit spicier than what you might be used to, but it's very good.
Okay.
And once that meal is finished, once that course is finished, the staff come back out, clear your plates, and the Sorcerer Queen says, "Very well, let us get down to business."
Did Aldrich use their silverware to eat their...
No, that was all finger food.
Okay, that's what I thought. Just make sure.
Yeah, and she says, the main course will be out shortly. So, we have a proposal to discuss. Let us hear officially the proposal. Miss Dane.
Okay. Were any of these counselors present when we
No.
spoke to her initially?
No, only Ayath
Oh.
was present.
Well, as I told Queen Lavestra, there is an elf named Lavarian who has gathered an army and a powerful magic wand that has allowed him to produce further monsters to strengthen his army. You know that he has taken over the city to the south of you, Kent, and he is currently sieging the town of Dorvit, and hopefully has not achieved that yet. But we do know that he's not going to stop there, and he's going to continue to conquer Ardalar Vela, and then he's going to come back, take all of Gimmigan, including your fine town, and as many other places as he possibly can. And we want to get your help in stopping his army. And, while distracting his army, us, the Glass Guardians, will go defeat Lavarian. And then the city of Kent is free to be under your queen's rule. And then you would have the whole canal to run. And that's our proposal.
Very well. Does anyone else have anything to add to the proposal before we begin discussing its merits?
Well, I think, Your Majesty, once we do engage in these conversations for the merit of the proposal, I think it would all do us very well to have a delicious meal. I don't mean to be rude, as we propose these ideas. The happier the belly, the more inclined I think people are willing to listen and have an open mind about next steps.
I agree. The food will be out shortly.
Thank you.
And the staff come out and refill your wine glasses. Well, in that case, she says, I open the floor to discussion. Who would like to speak next? And Aldrich speaks up. And she says, the past 100 years of caution have served the city very well. We have fought off invasions and slavers, but never engaged in the risky wars that Kent, Dorvit, and some of the other city-states occasionally wage. We wait while our enemies keep each other weak. As a result, we have hung on to territory and grown wealthy. We should continue to pursue this strategy. And then Ayath jumps in, and she squeezes Aster's hand. And she says, but the queen is not waiting simply to hold on to what she has. She waits for the right opportunity to seize more territory, particularly Kent.
Also, if you wait forever, nothing's ever gonna happen. You're just gonna wait.
Also, Lady Aldrich, the proposal is strong. It's a solid proposal that provides not only benefit to the Queen, but also to its people. I believe that if we present this appropriately, I think we could have the support of all the people of Durfolk on our side.
At that, Sun Gifu speaks up, and he says, but, my lady, the people support your non-interventionist policy. They won't like this. They'll say it's rude. What will happen if you push them too far? And at that, Labestra, well, actually, everybody make an insight check.
I have a passive 20.
Yeah. Aster, you just see this straight out, but everybody else make an insight check.
10.
20.
Gaston and Zartok, 6 and 7.
6 and 7. All
I
right.
rolled, but it's the same.
Right. So when Sungufu says this, Lebestra, you can tell, is irritated. If you, Aster and Tara can see that she is irritated. She doesn't like something he just said. And she says, I am the queen. Once I make a decision, the people have no choice but to obey.
Eesh.
I think, defense is a wise course of action. However, you can't always just defend. As the city of Dorvid is probably going to see soon, they'll be overtaken and Lavarian's army will grow and eventually they'll make it here. And it's better for you to intervene now while he is not walled in to a city and we can stop the growing threat.
To add to that, right now his forces are divided between Dorvit and Kent, meaning whichever direction we choose presents opportunity for us to have success.
Tara's trying to kick him.
To kick me?
Yes. She
Oh.
does not want to say whichever avenue. She has an avenue she wants to go.
Oh, I know you do, but I'm thinking of Ayeth. And furthermore, on your questions about the people, I believe, like stated prior, presented correctly, I do believe we could warm the hearts of the people, specifically that, as Lady Tara just said, if Lavarian completes his invasion and moves towards Dorfolk, we will be in quite a disadvantage because they would not only have Kent, but potentially Dorvit, making us quite a vulnerable position. If we attack first, we can come to the people as this being our way of freeing the poor people of Dorvit and Kent, almost like we are the ones liberating and helping these other lands that might be presented less as being rude and more as being saviors to these lands.
Aldrich huffs and says, but taking Kent and defeating this army in Dorvit, this is dangerous. Even if Kent's only protected by a small garrison, when we fight this army, we're going to lose soldiers. We can't afford to both lose soldiers and then use our remaining forces to take Kent. And then who will protect Durfolk? And if the city is weak enough that we can take it, if Kent is weak enough that we could take that means that there must be huge forces somewhere else. We can't defeat those. We don't even know what awaits us in Kent. The city could be trapped, or everything valuable could be stripped out, or its defenses could be torn down.
It seems that your worries are exactly why you should attack, because if you're this worried about, the size of armies and everything, then you know that the army that could attack you is great, even greater than it is right now.
But we're in an excellent defensive position here. They wouldn't stand a chance against us if they were to come after us. We have been marshaling our forces for strong defense while they've been beating each other up for the last century. They wouldn't stand a chance here.
Maybe not right now, but after taking over multiple other cities, as is their plan, then they'll have a massive army to compete with yours.
Sungufu says, suppose the army does not obey. What if they don't like this idea? How will you take Kent without their cooperation?
You have an army that won't listen to you?
Yes, exactly. At that, Lebestra responds, again looking more irritated, that she is not a queen. She says, I am not a queen. I am also a queen. Refusal to follow orders will have consequences. And Sungufu looks a little taken aback at that.
Wouldn't the people consider it quite rude to not follow the orders of their wonderful queen?
Aldrich says, yes, but orders to attack another city that hasn't done anything to us, or attack an army that hasn't done anything to us, that might also be perceived as rude. It's a very fine thing, these layers of manners. It's complicated. Etiquette is complicated.
Layers of
And
manners.
Ayat says, you're making it too complicated. It doesn't have to be that complicated. The queen gives orders, the army follows them, and we all end up better off. And Aldrich says, "You've only been here a month. What do you know? I don't know how you became the seneschal so quickly. You seem too eager to make this happen."
Well,
And
I
Ayeth
mean,
looks a little irritated and squeezes Aster's hand as he starts talking again and says, "The position was open for months. I have demonstrated my competence." And then Lebestra speaks up and says, "Please stop bickering. I want arguments that are constructive. Constructive arguments only."
I agree with the great sorcerer queen. Also, Ayeth brings a very strong proposal, and her wisdom is vast. And to speak to your point about our defenses weakening if Dorfolk leaves, and I don't mean to be rude, so please, I apologize. But our group, though attacked, was able to land on your premises. Lavarian is quite the skilled elf, quite evil, quite mischievous, and tactful in his evil doing. What if he decided to send in a small strike force of assassins to attack the counselors here to weaken the resolve, or even, dare I say, our great sorcerer queen?
The counselors all look at you with their mouths open. And Aldrich says, They wouldn't dare do that. They'd be fools to even try."
I promise you.
Did they not do that in Kent?
We don't know exactly what happened in Kent.
And Lavarian is no fool. He will have measures, strategies.
We don't know what happened in Kent, but we do know that Kent was taken over, and we do know that they had their own powerful, although perhaps not as powerful, but powerful ruler who is no longer their ruler.
Zartok, Ilifar, who is sitting next to you, sort of leans over, tilts one way toward you, and says, "What do you make of all this, young man?"
Well, yeah, sorry, his mouth was full. Yeah.
And at this point,
Yeah.
the staff begins bringing out the main course.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, that's what I think about it. Gemigan, there was a balance of powers that was established between all the independent cities here. And now we've had something new happen. You've had this Lavorian and the Wand be introduced. The argument that that the forces will be weakening by themselves, that this, what was your name, Aldrich? That you mentioned? Well, it's just, it happens to not be true because he's, sorry, everyone's laughing at me. What's her name?
Aldrich?
Aldrich, yes. That argument would normally make sense in the previous regime, the previous balance, but I'm afraid that the Wand creates creatures. I've seen them myself. Me and Tara and I have fought them. And so this Wand is summoning creatures from somewhere else, and so this is sort of like an unending army that can be created, so there's no weakening of a force, you see. I'm afraid that if you allow this to happen, it would create an imbalance in the powers at bay in Gemigan, and you would be on the losing side of it.
Elifar listens to you carefully and says, That raises an important question. What happens to the wand?"
It's a good question.
I mean, I keep asking myself, what do we get out of taking over Kent? The only thing I can see is complete control over the canal and the lake. That's a lot of money, but taking the city won't be free. It could take decades to pay off the investment, and that's assuming it's successful. Now, you are saying we can defeat this army and that will protect us, but maybe the army's not really interested in us. Maybe there's something else they're interested in. But if there's something else we can get out of this, like a powerful wand, I can see how that might be, maybe make it worthwhile for the Sorcerer Queen.
I'm sure there's plenty of magic to be had.
He looks at you for a moment. Really? You think there might be some more magic?
Well, sure. I'm not familiar with, is there any, like, I don't know, magic guilds in Kent or wizard hangouts?
Yeah, you don't know anything about Kent. You do know that Dorvit has Strethok's old tower.
Right.
but you don't know about Kent.
Yeah, but perhaps Dorvit would graciously give some of the items they would have lost in the magical tower that belonged to the wizards.
That would be an appropriate gift, I think. The Sorcerer Queen says, yes, but you ask an important question. What happens to the wand?
Now, Your Majesty, to be fair, the wand originally was proposed as a way to reduce the heating problem of our world here on Jebber. The idea was that we could use the wand, maybe, to help facilitate finding a solution to save our world. Now, you might not believe me, and it's fine if you don't, that I follow a great and powerful god as... Where are you? Which one is it? Isn't it Aldrich, the one that worships?
Aldrich worships a different god, yeah.
Yeah. And like Lady Aldrich would know, these gods are powerful, fair, and honest individuals.
Okay, at that, the table erupts in laughter.
Oh, really?
No. No. The wand is too powerful. Oh, we will not be giving it to anyone. There will be plenty of other magical items, but the mistake was the Lavarian got the wand in the first place. The wand won't go to anyone else. It was broken before, and hopefully it will be broken again.
Lebestra sits back and temples her fingers and says...
Wait, real quick, Mike.
Yeah.
Did Aldrich also laugh at that?
Yes.
I'm curious.
Yes.
Okay.
When you said that the gods are powerful and honest, they all broke into laughter.
I want to know more about that, but okay, continue.
The Sorcerer Queen sits back and says, very well, I approve the destruction of the wand, but I wish to ensure that it happens. I will not trust you to do it without oversight.
I wouldn't have any idea how to do it appropriately.
Excellent. So the wand is to be destroyed.
Agreed. To the fellow counselors here, I've had quite a few conversations with my chosen deity, but you all seem to find that funny, and I'm curious to know. I am new to this world. What's so funny about my statement, if I may ask?
Okay, so they all are looking at each other in some confusion when you say you're new to this world. And Aldrich...
He's a lot younger.
Aldrich speaks up and says, well, surely you must know that the gods are fickle and arbitrary. Of course, the gods represented here, Assembler in the Square and Praised and Sharp, are among the most reasonable and rational and trustworthy. But, for example, Skyfather is fickle. The shortest attention span of any god ever, perhaps. God Tree Runner is, well, I don't know where to start. No, I would. It worries me somewhat that you are so ill-informed.
Well, when I say new to this world, I mean new to worship.
That's not much of an excuse, but very well. I'm going to try this duck here, the roast duck. Perhaps we should eat and ponder for a moment.
Of course.
All right, so she begins eating, and here we go. Oh dear. So everybody digs in. Ayath eats, just sort of picks at her food. She doesn't seem very hungry. But Aldrich digs right into her duck, and she starts to get a little woozy looking and says, I don't feel so good. I think I need to go lie down. And she just falls face first into her food.
Tara immediately stops eating in alarm.
And everyone jumps up.
She must have had too much to drink, I think. So some have you got to learn to hold your wine better than that. Yeah, I can help her get to a waiting area. With maybe is there a couch nearby?
Well, the Sorcerer Queen leaps up and says, "No one move," and she begins casting a spell.
Darn it! Real quick, if I cast counterspell, does she know that I cast counterspell?
Yes.
Yeah, there's
Okay, I'm
verbal
not gonna do
components
that.
to that. I'm
Yep,
pretty sure.
yep.
So
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Nope, I'm good.
All right. So she casts a spell and begins scanning the area around Aldrich while everyone else checks on her to make sure that she's okay. And she is clearly asleep in the food.
Can someone please remove her face from the food so she can breathe?
Yeah.
Gas is trying to help
Yeah.
her.
Soongi Fu will
but she
remove
said
her
not to
face from
move.
the food and start wiping her up a little bit. And she scans the table. She scans all of you and raises an eyebrow. She says, "You are quite magically equipped, aren't you?" And she looks over the table and eventually settles on a magical folding fork and knife set, which is sitting next to Aldrich's plate. And she says, "This is not ours. Where did this come from? Who brought this?"
This is what I was saying about it could have been infiltrated here by unknown forces. This is what I mean by Lavarian being crafty. He could have paid off one of the servers or something else, or magically placed it through transportation. Who knows what could have occurred?
But what? If this is Lavarian's plan, this is ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah, Sarah's like testing Aldrich's pulse and is like, to put her to sleep?
yes, that's what is. I am no longer afraid if this is the case. Who thought of this ridiculous plan?
I look at Papa Gaston like, what?
Put my counselor to sweep? This is the plan?
Well, it could be him saying, I can reach you whenever I want, and this is just a taste of what I can do. Or maybe he wants you to have this feeling that he is not a threat.
I disagree. I think you shouldn't be afraid, and you should march on his Kent right away.
No.
She walks over and slaps Aldrich on the face, and Aldrich sort of sputters awake.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's all it took to wake up? Jeez.
Yeah, it just basically she inflicts a point of damage, and that wakes her up.
Go back to sleep.
What was this plan, Papa Gaston?
You tell me.
What? I didn't know you could just slap someone awake.
Yeah, 1 point of damage will wake them up.
Oh, bummer. Now we know. Now we know next time.
Oh, no. I wonder how this is. Okay.
Sarah recognizes this utensil, by the way.
Okay.
I
I'm
do
assuming.
not.
Probably you were
well,
there
no,
for
I
the
guess you
transaction.
Yeah, well, it was cleaned, though.
That's true.
So
They
would
did
she
clean it up.
recognize it?
Oh, yeah. Wait. I do know what these utensils are. I'm the
Did you
one
trick
who cleans
yourself?
it.
How do you do that?
So yeah,
That's impressive.
does Tara recognize them?
The utensils?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know. I guess make an investigation check.
Oh, hell no. Sorry. She absolutely does not.
Okay.
I got what is effectively a 0.
All right. So no.
Oh, no. I thought these were stronger sleeping.
I think that you should
Utensils.
probably interrogate your service staff.
Yes, that will happen. I suppose we should probably stop eating the food.
Aww.
Yeah.
I mean, it's up to you if you wish to take the whisk.
What is there something wrong with mine? There's difference, yes? I mean, looking at the utensils.
If this is a threat, then perhaps the food could also be poison.
That's true. We should probably stop eating it.
I don't know if I can do that.
That would be very unwise also to give you a utensil that makes you go to sleep and then further poison the food for everyone else.
That's true. It could be Lavarian just, again, trying to test. I think his goal is not to kill all of you.
I don't
but to
think
subjugate
Lavarians
you.
is foolish. Do you have some, I don't know, rude interlopers in this castle?
Of course not.
I mean, other than us.
Well, I mean,
We're not rude.
Perhaps we should retire to a different room to finish the discussion.
You're absolutely wise and right.
I guess someone should. Well, I guess Aldrich's awake now.
Yes, Eldrick is awake. She's looking pretty bleary-eyed and confused, but she is awake. And a little bit quiet, too. Like, she doesn't quite know how to respond to this situation. In any case, she has you retire to a library.
Mama Sass eats the rest of her duck with her fingers, just to be safe.
Okay. Well, there's nothing wrong with it, of course.
Well, the bait and switch worked, but the plan did not.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Right.
Hey, if she doesn't talk anymore, it worked, man. Message received.
I'm trying to navigate this into a different direction.
So you retire to the library where she serves you some dessert wine from her personal stash and
Oh, wow.
continues the discussion there. I guess she'll recap. So far, we have decided that there may be valuable magic there, that the wand should be destroyed, that if we were to defeat the army at Dorvet, then we could then probably take Kent with ease. Agreed?
Agreed.
Yes.
Aldrich says, I am still not confident in this, and I'm still concerned about how the public will react.
Well, I'd like to bring another point now that the Sorcerer Queen, in her wisdom, has plainly stated it out. Dorvet right now is being attacked by forces from Lavarian. If we liberate them from these forces, we could ask as reparation these magical items, which can bolster your side, as well as a reward for aiding them. We could maybe persuade them to help bolster our forces in a joint effort to attack Kent.
Sungifu speaks up and says, I suggest a compromise. Let us have these glass guardians fly to Kent in their ship. They could take a contingent of soldiers with them if they like. They can reconnoiter, explore, and if the place is sufficiently lightly guarded, perhaps even land there. Kent has always been less hostile to slavers than us. They could pretend to be slavers and land in the city. They can return and report what they find, and if it is easy enough for us to occupy the city, we can move our army there, and then on from there to Dorvet. It is on the way.
This is not a bad compromise. I turn and look at Ayeth, because I'm charmed and I need her approval.
Ayeth looks a little irritated, but says, I suppose that would work. I think it makes more sense to go straight there, to Dorvet.
I agree. Dorvet can't wait. We need to attack this army before it takes Dorvet. Also, I think that the people are going to support whatever the queen and her advisors support. And that you advisors, and Tara is looking directly at Aldrich, play an important role in making that support true.
And Lebestra says, yes, and also the people will do what their queen says to do. That is why I am the queen and they are not.
Can I insight check when she says that? I want
Sure.
to know if there's a level of I'm the best, you are nothing.
You can quite clearly see that she, although she's been pursuing the strategy of careful defense, she is quite confident that she can do what is necessary to take these other cities if she can get the military to go along with her. And she doesn't like being questioned. She doesn't like this idea that if she says go, that they might not want to go. She thinks, I am in charge, you do what I say.
I guess what I'm trying to figure out, I guess I can come up with this thought process on my own. I was just kind of trying to read if she kind of felt a little tyrannical in her.
That's for you to judge.
Yeah, I'll judge that. Looking at the advisors, looking at her feelings towards everything. Okay, never mind.
All right. So she says, perhaps we should take a vote and see where we stand.
Your Majesty, again, to not be rude, but we, the Glass Guardians, consider ourselves helpers to the world, heroes, as childish as that sounds. But we are fair and we do care about the people of all these lands. We're just particular to your plea, Your Majesty. But would we be taking these lands with the concerted effort to free them as the primary goal and getting reparations as a secondary? Or are your feelings for
For
rule?
Kent, I am not interested in fleeing the city.
Okay,
I wish to take the city.
I see.
It will be mine. And all the canal will be mine. And will belong to me and to the citizens of Durfolk.
I see. And Kent is the land of slavers, correct?
So what she said was that the city of Kent is not as hostile to slavers as Durfolk is. It's not a
Okay.
slaver-run city, but they do have some slavery there, and it's whereas this city that you're in right now, Durfolk, they seem very hostile to slavery.
I see. Okay. I see. Thank you for explaining that to me, Your Majesty.
So here's what I'd like you to do. I would like to have some persuasion checks for each of the council members. Starting with Aldrich, she's the most difficult. You're going to have a really hard time persuading her.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you guys decide who makes the roll. Probably either Tara or Aster.
I believe Tara has a higher persuasion. Let me see. I think I only have an 8 on persuasion. Only an 8. So that might be a Tara thing.
Okay.
It's definitely a Tara thing.
So make a check for Aldrich.
Is this an advantage check or just a regular check?
If you have something that would give you advantage, then you may use that.
Ugh, I should have prepared bless.
My entire crew.
I'm just going to let you make a straight... Well, let's see. I'll tell you what. I'll let your crew give you advantage on one of these rolls. You pick one. You pick which counselor you want advantage on the roll for.
Sungifer.
All right, Sungifu gets the advantage. All right, go ahead.
Okay. Do I need to... I'm just going to roll?
Yep.
Okay, roll Aldrich. That is a 5 plus 12 is 17.
All right. Not persuaded. And Sungifu?
5 plus 12 is
You were
17.
gonna
You get
use
to roll with
advantage.
advantage on
We
that
have
one.
advantage.
Oh, sorry, yes. As a 9 plus 12 is whatever that is.
21. 9 plus 12.
Okay.
Yep.
And that is
I
a
don't do
21.
math.
You're not sure exactly what the result of that one is. Illifar, make a roll for Illifar.
Come on, Tara.
24.
24.
Better. There you go.
And make a persuasion roll for the queen herself.
Oh, I thought we already persuaded
Oh, we should have used advantage on her. Forgot about that.
15.
15 total?
Yep.
Oh, Oswin just follows the queen. Okay.
That's right. Osmond follows the queen. So right now, when you take a vote, Aldrich votes against it. Sungifu says he hasn't made up his mind. And Illifar is persuaded. Ayath is persuaded. And Oswin looks to the queen, and she looks like she's not certain either. And so she says, is there anything else that anyone can say to help sway me or sway Sungifu? Is there anything else, any other information that would change any minds? And Aldrich speaks up, and she says, if we're going to use the army for something, perhaps instead we could simply, since these outsiders have told us this, perhaps we could simply raid Kent and take whatever is of value and bring it back. That might be a safer course of action. We don't have to worry about any of this other stuff. We can strengthen our defenses with whatever we find, and we don't need to get involved in any of this.
Yeah, but that's not really going to help you in the long run. I mean, if you get Kent, you control the canal. Like, that'll help you for years down the road. Raids ain't going to do much.
That would also be the most rude course of action possible.
Yeah, to take and leave. While controlling Kent, you would free the population of slaving, and you would have the canals at your disposal, which would make you technically the strongest nation in this area.
Yeah, and then the people of Kent would be just as happy as your people here.
Yeah, Sungifu says, yes, I think that would be perceived as too rude. I don't think that would pass muster. Well, she says, we seem to be at an impasse.
I would hate for you to decide later, when Lavarian's army is even stronger, that you regret not making the correct decision now.
Perhaps if we all swept on it until the morning. Do you think it could wait until then?
I suppose.
Yes. Let us try
Again, I
this.
look to Ayath.
Ayath looks agitated and leans over to Aster and says, we need to persuade her now. In the morning, I think our arguments will seem less pressing.
But how do we go about it? I didn't choose modify memory. It's a spell.
Oops.
Is there anything we can offer to sweeten the deal?
The only thing I can think of is the one, but I don't know.
Well, she's already made clear that she is in favor of destroying the wand, so that's probably not going to work.
Oh, my other idea was the gods, but they're not keen on the gods. I was going to say that the gods could maybe perhaps help us.
They like their gods, but not all the gods.
Here's the moment. So I look at everyone and I say, I don't know what you all feel about the Seafoam Wanderer, as I point to my face. But she is my patron, and she has recently reached out to me and suggested that there might be a course of action where the gods themselves would be willing to speak to our group. If that is the case, maybe the gods that you worship would be willing to provide us aid.
At this, Sun Gufu says, well, my friend, the gods speak to their priests. What do you mean, speak to your group?
Shoot. I'm going to roll or something.
Okay.
I'm rolling for myself.
Okay.
I'm rolling whether I want to
Whether Aster
say that
spills
we're
the
going-
beans?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tara looked completely confused.
Yes.
Yeah, because nobody knows yet. I was going to tell them, but then I got charmed. I'm going to roll 10 or lower I'm not going to say anything. 10 or higher, I am.
Okay.
I mean 11 or higher, I am.
Okay.
That is a 3.
Okay.
So I'm going to look at them and go, well, I don't know how to explain it. She didn't give me many details. All she suggested is that she was willing to approach us personally. In what form that takes, I do not know. It would take faith on your part.
Sun Gufu's expression kind of falls and he looks less impressed.
Darn it.
And, well, I have my faith. I have faith in Assembler in the Square. He is honest and true, and a very good archer. But more importantly, honest and true. Is there anything else anybody wants to say?
I can't think of anything else that could help persuade besides my thing. What if we could meet the gods in their abode? What if they allowed us to... I don't know how this... Would Aster know what it means to go to their mountain?
Not in detail, no.
And I don't know, the reactions that these people had against the gods was strange to me.
Aya sort of squeezes Aster's hand and says, I don't think the gods are the right approach here, my dear.
Okay, I trust you.
Perhaps, what about this? What if we can hold off the army while you defeat Lavarian, could the Sorcerer Queen take over this army somehow? If you manage to defeat Lavarian, could the Sorcerer Queen, once he is gone, take control of this army? Is there something we could do with it?
You mean to take control once Lavarian is gone, for the queen to take control of the armies?
Right.
I'm not sure who the army is composed of, except for the soldiers they took from Kent, who will go back to living their lives in Kent, under the rule of the Sorcerer Queen. So in that way, she would have expanded her army. I don't know who else is a part of it other than Frost Giants and Yetis, who will be gone.
We don't want those.
Yeah.
We don't want those. But if
But
If we could take control of that army, is there something more that could be done with it aside from retaking Kent? Is there something else that could be done with it that would be useful?
they could help bolster the defenses here in our city.
Well, of course. Although we're quite secure at the moment. Just trying to think if there's anything else that could be done. It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity you all see. And Sun Gifu sort of scratches his chin and says, I can't think of anything else that could be done. We don't want to conquer more territories elsewhere.
I can't think of anything. I don't say that out loud. I'm saying that in my head.
All right.
Anybody else? No?
All right. So the Sorcerer Queen says, very well, we shall adjourn for tonight and meet here again in the morning. Yes?
Sure.
Yes.
Very well. Thank you, everyone, for coming here. And I hope that you will try a meal again with us tomorrow, and I will ensure that there is nothing dangerous about it this time. And she takes the magical fork and spoon.
No. Okay.
And she says, I will look into this.
Well, I turn immediately to Ayeth. With the effects of the charm spell,
Mhm.
I am devastated that I failed her.
Yes, she looks upset.
I am so sorry, Ayeth. I didn't mean to fail you in this way.
She says, it's all right, Aster. You did your best. I probably expected too much.
Ooh, that hurts like a knife in my
Ouch.
chest.
This is Mike talking to all of us.
I'm sorry, my rolls were really bad.
Yeah, you got some
Yeah.
unlucky rolls.
They were horrific. Like, come on.
Even with
A
advantage.
5 and a 3.
Yep.
Yeah, even with advantage, it was like an 8 or a 9,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. Yeah, you've got them right on the teeter-totter, just
precipice.
right, equally balanced.
Yeah.
So she says, well, I suppose I should retire and meet back with you in the morning, and perhaps we can come up with some more ideas.
Of course.
Yes. Oh, well, I'll meet you at your ship in the morning.
Sure. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's fine. It's
I
fine.
have like a crestfallen face.
All right. Have everyone, please have a good evening. Get some good rest. Come back in the morning and we'll try again.
Okay. Is everybody ready to go back to our ship?
Yes. Starving.
Mama says there's still the food sitting there on the plate. There's your food. I'm sorry, you ate your
no,
food.
I ate mine.
But there's other food sitting here that people aren't touching.
I'm not
just
a
in case.
monster. Like, come on.
All right,
I mean,
just making sure.
Not a monster.
Just letting you know the option is there. Okay, so you head back to your ship again with an escort. The escort seems to have gotten a bit smaller, and as you make your way to the ship, the crowds are sort of watching you, trying not to look like they're rudely staring at you, but they are watching you with fascination. And you make your way to the ship. You climb back up the ladder and prepare for bedtime. Lights out. I assume unless there's anything else you want to talk about.
Am I still charmed?
You are still charmed.
Darn.
This is ridiculous.
You are still charmed. I'm going to just straight up tell you, it's a 24-hour charm.
Oh, God.
Yep.
So even if I sleep, I won't wake
That's
up.
right. You're
with
still
the
going to
charm
wake
gone?
up charmed.
Darn it. I'm never going to explain the whole God Olympus thing. So then what I do is I'm so crestfallen. The thought of going to Olympus to see the gods, I don't know if it's called Olympus, but the plan to see the gods, everything that Seafoam Wanderer, I can't think of anything other than how I disappointed Ayeth. And so I go into, I call forth for Syl, who's been on the ship, to come meet me.
Okay.
And I look to her and telepathically we communicate and I say, Syl, I need to go fly and get away from all the stress and anxiety I'm currently feeling. Would you be happy to let us fly through the night for a while?
I am here for whatever you need, Asta. If it's a night flight, that's what it'll be.
Thank you, my dear. And I climb on her and I fly towards the moon.
All right.
And just kind of,
So Aster
know.
spends the night flying, not the whole night, but
no, not the whole night.
spends a bit of time flying around to try to relax. Everyone else goes to sleep.
Tara wants to talk to Zartok.
Great. Tara wants to talk to Zartok. Go ahead.
Yes.
Well, what do you think? Are we wasting our time here?
I don't know. We'll see what they say tomorrow, I guess.
Can you figure out what's going on with Aster?
What do you mean?
I mean, I don't. He seems to be under the impression that the gods. I had talked about wanting to talk about talking to the far off one, but now he's like talking as if we have talked to all the gods, and it's really confusing to me and to everyone else.
I mean, I really don't take him that seriously.
Well, yeah, that's true. Like, I know that and you know that, but like they don't know that.
I mean, I don't know. I guess I could talk to him sometime about what he's talking about, but
Yeah, maybe go calm him down or something.
Okay. Well, I can try, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he thinks you're buddies. He trusts you, and I think it would do him some good.
Okay. Sure. I'll have a chat with the old boy.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. What do you think about their fly to Kent compromise?
I don't know. I really don't know anymore. I just don't. I don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, well, yeah, me neither.
It made sense to me. I mean, we just need something. We need a little bit of help. We can't fight a whole army ourselves. So whatever they decide, as long as it does something, it shakes up this whole thing.
Tara's just nodding. Basically, Tara's adopted Zartok as her advisor.
I mean, who else do you got? Like, let's face it.
Yeah.
You got me and Coral
Yeah.
as your pillars of wisdom, and that's it.
What? I'm great. I'm great at advising.
Carlos walks by. Hey guys, how you doing? Hey, you guys up having a late night talk?
Yeah, we are. Hey,
Hey.
Carlos, you got any midnight snacks? My dinner was pretty small. We have anything?
I got some stuff outside to restock the hole. Yeah, let me see what I can dig up.
Yeah, thanks, man.
All right. He goes to grab some food.
Useful.
He actually was successful.
Yeah, Zartok will talk to him. He went to go look for him, and then, somebody would have told Zartok that he's up flying by them.
Saw Pegasus
Yes.
Right,
shadow
he's
in the
busy.
moon.
Well, eventually Aster returns. Is Zartok going to wait up for him?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
If it's not too late.
So, Aster, you land on the deck with your strange-sounding Pegasus. And you find, much to your surprise, that Zartok is there waiting for you.
Oh. Sil, please get some rest. You know where to go. The hold.
You do as well, Aster. I'm worried about you. You just had a rough night, so you make sure you get some sleep too, love.
Thank you. You too, Sil.
Justin's pulling a big duty on all these voices.
Yeah.
Yeah, that voice is
I
great.
guess
Yeah.
Mike really has the
Yeah.
most, but
Yep.
Yeah, we should give poor Jessica a raise.
Yes. I would really, $0, double it.
I hereby grant that.
It's an easy negotiation.
Zartok? What are you doing up, buddy?
I just had a question to ask you about all that.
Oh, about Ayeth? I know. I failed pretty hard, huh?
No, about that. I mean, the whole bit about talking to the whole gods. What's this about?
Oh.
Was this a ruse or something? Yeah, you didn't tell us about it. If so,
A ruse?
yeah, like switching around people's forks and spoons like a bunch of idiots.
Yeah.
A ruse.
Well, Papa Gaston always has great plans. I know what a ruse is, Zartok. No, I don't think it's a ruse. Seafoam Wanderer talks to me all the time. But right now, I mean, that seems like a secondary thing, don't you think? Isn't it more important for me to figure out how to help Ayeth? I mean, did you see her? She looked so distraught. Like I had failed her. I can't fail her, Zartok.
I mean, I'm kind of just doing a mental health check on you because you was talking, you had people wondering what you was talking about. And, we weren't in on the lie, I guess.
Oh, I mean, it's not a lie. Also, we face demons and monsters and people with magical wands. I feel like gods and meeting them shouldn't be that crazy. Either way, that's not important, Zartok. What's important is Ayeth and how we're going to help her succeed.
Okay.
No?
But I'm confused. Why is Ayeth's success more important?
Because she's the love of my life, Zartok. We've been talking about this. The prenuptials, I've never fallen for somebody this hard before.
I mean, it's awfully quick.
When you find true love, it hits you like a freight spelljammer.
As you're discussing, you hear the sound of someone climbing up the ladder, and you hear a voice calling out, hello, excuse me. Hello? Is anyone there?
Huh?
Who is it?
Ayeth? Nope, that's a male's voice.
And Lieutenant Edgar climbs up to the top of the ladder and peeks over and says, I'm really sorry to bother you so late at night. It's very rude of me, and I'm very sorry. Okay, I've clearly offended you. Yes, I'm sorry. But I had to deliver some important news. We just got back from some scouts. I hate to be the one to bring it to you.
Oh, no.
Dorvid has fallen.
Darn it!
Well, that was quick.
Well, Dorfolk is done for.
So that will probably be important for your meeting with the Queen tomorrow.
That is bad news. Oh, no, Ayeth.
Well, thanks for telling us, mate.
Right. Can I bring you anything? Would you like some tea? I could go get the guy to make some tea for you.
I could use some tea. No, that might be too rude.
I think it'd be rude if you didn't make it yourself.
Really?
Because you offered.
Oh.
Yeah, I think so. I'm thinking it's rude to offer and then have someone else do it.
I'm a lieutenant. Okay, that's fine. I'll go. I'll get you some tea. He climbs back down.
Thank you. That was weird.
Hey, this is bad news. You go tell Tara, I guess.
Well, no, we should communicate this with Ayeth. She's the one that needs to know this.
She probably already knows. Aster, you can figure that out. That if Lieutenant Edgar knows and told you, then Ayeth probably knows.
Oh, I know.
Oh, I see. Aster's just looking for an excuse. I see.
Yes.
Right. At this point, I think the role playing is leading to it being bit strange behavior.
Okay.
Right.
That's
Mike, would you allow that?
If you want to make an insight check, and see if you can gain any more information, but sure, go ahead.
All right, I got some Lux.
Nah.
Let's get a good roll for once.
No, it's bad rolls are always more fun.
Yeah, we'll just roll with it. 17.
Well, that's not bad.
Total of 17?
Yeah.
He seems like a love-struck idiot.
Yeah, what an idiot.
Do I need to roll deception or something?
Nope.
No, right? Because
I'm taking care of that.
This.
Her spell.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe this.
Yeah. Well, if you want to go talk to her, I don't care. I'll go tell Tara then.
No. Do you think it's too clingy if I go tell her in the middle of the night?
It's way clingy, bro. Way clingy. You're gonna blow this.
Okay. All right.
Stop it. Sometimes you gotta let them sit in the dark a little bit. You know what I mean? You're offering no mystery.
No wearing hearts on the sleeve. I get you. Be cool and mysterious like Zartok. Not approachable and
whatever. Yeah, just less Aster, not more Zartok. You know what I mean? You don't want to scare her away.
Oh, I don't think you're scary. You're pretty cool. Well,
you're making this about me. Stop it.
Anyway, I'll leave you to it. Yeah, tell Tara. But remember, we have to start planning and thinking how we're going to flip this around so that Ayeth looks good. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever you say, mate.
All right. Good night, Dartok. Good talk.
Yeah, good night.
So is
I go
Aster
to
headed straight for the castle? The palace?
No, I'm going to take Zartak's
Okay.
advice. I don't want to lose her.
All right.
So I go and I try to pet Alucard
Okay.
if he lets me.
Yep.
And then I go to sleep.
Glass Guardians. Cool.
Nice. With a little tear in my
Nice.
eye. A
Stab
little
him in the back.
Oh, no, it's even worse. More tears. I go to sleep.
All right. And Aster goes to sleep. Everyone goes to bed. You get a good night's rest. And in the morning, you'll have another meeting to determine what happens next.
Okay, Zartok can go try to talk to Aster.
Yeah, we lost the end of
You're
that.
off,
What?
Mike. Yep.
Sorry. Aster's up by the moon, so Zartok
So
can't talk to him
that's what
anyway.
that's what that sounds
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
when you move away from
Hey,
the
Chris,
mic.
I'm talking. Bye.
That's what that sounds like. Well, I'm trying to lay on the charm real thick that I'm overly obsessed.
Today's progress 0.
Well, I don't know. Actually, I mean, you're right on the edge of persuading them, but now you're going to have to come up with something different.
I feel like the Dorfolk thing could be a plus or a negative to us.
So I guess it's worth pointing out that everything here is on a clock.
Yep.
And so the city has been in besiege for quite a while now. And so this is the day when that the siege ended and Dorvit lost. So it's not your actions specifically that caused that. It's just that's when the clock ran out.
Yeah. Now, is this that clock that you're counting down on?
It's not the action clock.
Okay.
It's just
not
I
the
have a
actual-
calendar of when things happen that are outside of your direct control.
Gotcha.